So today we are going to be going through ADA and how ADA affects digital marketing, your website, and just what you should be aware of with Jennifer.
So ADA is the Disabilities Act, which is a set of compliance regulations that's put out by the Department of Justice. I may have a tool on my computer that allows me to be able to navigate and browse the internet, and it will read essentially as I'm navigating. It's all hearing. If you've been optimizing your brand, your design, your development, your content, your entire strategy, if you've been optimizing for AI search engines and AI crawlers, not bots, not Google's traditional bots, but AI crawlers, then you actually have less issues from an ADA compliance standpoint. Attorneys now have the same functionality. So they now have the ability to evoke a series of autonomous agents that have the ability to crawl massive websites at the same time, ability to assess 3,000 different data points, consolidate all of the violations into a single file, apply an amount to each violation, create the entire lawsuit, and issue the lawsuit without the involvement of any human being or paralegal or anyone else. This is pulling it from actual lawsuits. So untagged images, inaccessible online forms, contact forms, quote request forms, and embedded quote request forms from field management systems. I think like the biggest uphill battle is, quite frankly, getting everybody to be on the same page.
Hey, you guys, welcome to Catalyst for the Trades podcast. I am Jasmine Ramirez, the Executive Director of Growth at CI Web Group, and we have the privilege to have Jennifer Bagley, our CEO of CI Web Group and co-founder of JustStartAI.o. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi, did I get fired as the host of Catalyst for the Trades?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take that. We have to have the ability to pivot fast. You have a new host, Jasmine.
So today we are going to be going through ADA and how ADA affects digital marketing, your website, and just what you should be aware of with Jennifer. So we're going to dive into a series of different questions, and she's going to give us her expertise.
All right, let's rock and roll. First, we should probably start with the fact I am not an attorney, and this is not deemed as legal advice under any circumstances, and there should be some disclaimer. So include that in the pod notes at the bottom of it, but I will do my absolute best.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to dive into the foundation. Now, I want to know, what is ADA accessibility and what should marketers know or even care about beyond just compliance?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a big question. So ADA is the Disabilities Act, which is a set of compliance regulations that's put out by the Department of Justice. These requirements is anybody that has a disability. So if it is sight or hearing or any disability, I'm turning off my phone. This is to make sure that if they have the same ability to be able to utilize different tools to be able to navigate the internet, navigate your website, be able to interact with your business and so forth. So the requirements are not surface level. And I think that's something that is important for everyone to know, that this is going to impact, this does impact, not going to, down to literally the code and architecture behind your website. If I am unable to see and I'm visiting your website, I may have a tool on my computer that allows me to be able to navigate and browse the internet, and it will read essentially as I'm navigating. It's all hearing. I can actually hear it do the search, pull up a website, navigate the website, and I have to be able to understand everything that is on that website, including there's a picture. I can't physically see it. So within the picture, you have alt text. If you have a button, and that alt text should be a description of that picture. If there's a button on the website, a lot of the frameworks that are building platforms for websites, such as WordPress out of the gate, if you were to just install WordPress and actually have a developer code a WordPress website, you can make that baby ADA compliant. Once you have a non-developer start playing with it and try and make WordPress become a website instead of what it is. It's a content publishing engine or content publishing system. But you want to turn this open framework into, or open source framework into, a website. Now you'll have, rookies, first thing they do is install a theme. And that theme might be built from Vladimir in the Ukraine or whoever, right? This theme, they bought it off the internet for $25, and that theme has somebody else's code inside of it. And then that theme doesn't do what you want it to do. So the next thing they do is install a platform called Elementor. And then that doesn't do what you want. You want a hero section, you want reviews that rotate, you want a specific form, and it doesn't come as a part of the theme framework. It doesn't come as a part of the Elementor framework, or maybe you want something different. So now you go start downloading plugins. So you have a plugin that is another set of code that is chunked into this large code bank. So you're just bloating the website up with development code that's created from these developers from around the world, with someone trying to WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, kind of drag and drop things all over the website. And everything that's dragged over and every chunk of code that's installed, even the things just from a maintenance standpoint, most of the WordPress websites that we review, not only do they have, multiple themes, including ones that aren't even being used, the parent theme, the child theme, and then the 3 themes before that, because it's moved from web company to web company to web company, and they just keep like stacking it up with a bunch of garbage. That code, you're liable and responsible for code, whether that is on your, being used physically or not, if it's in your code bank. So man, this is a plugin, for example, that is a web form, a W37 form, or Contact 7 form, or a plugin that allows you to be able to have a button on yours. They'll often take the lazy route. So if you have a button that says request a quote, and they put it inside HTML brackets that say div, button, div, and it doesn't actually state what that is, my voice is just going to say button or div, and it doesn't actually say request a quote. And so that's essentially what this is. This can be the size of the fonts. This can be color contrast. Good night. So we get a branding package from somebody that just spent $60,000 on their new brand, and they have these awesome mascot, and it's gorgeous, and new truck wraps and new logos and all these files and new branding guidelines, and we get them. And the second we load them into our design system, our AI comes back and says, there's not a single color in here that's actually compliant with ADA requirements. The contrast of the colors, maybe it's got pink in there, or it's too light of a blue, or whatever it is. And now you have somebody that just rewrapped 15 trucks, got new shirts, got new swag, has a new brand, has a new logo, and we have to come back and say, I cannot implement your brand on your website without you signing a waiver, basically saying that you are willing to have us utilize this branding guide and implement it on your website when it is clearly in violation of ADA requirements for contrast. And so I wish it wasn't as complex as it is, but it is necessary, and it's more necessary because the reality is the requirements set forth by the Department of Justice for ADA, if you were to line up, and this is an important exercise. In fact, if you go to Google, just go to Google and type in how does ADA compliance and Google AI agents crawl process, how similar are they? Do they work in tandem? And what you'll realize if you line these bad boys up side by side is the same requirements that the Department of Justice has for a site visitor for ADA compliance is almost identical as Google's AI crawlers need for a crawler, an AI bot that now has the capability of evaluating an entire website. Like the requirements are almost the same. So if you've been optimizing your brand, your design, your development, your content, your entire strategy, if you've been optimizing for AI search engines and AI crawlers, not bots, not Google's traditional bots, but AI crawlers, then you actually have less issues from an ADA compliance standpoint. Your site is going to be more ADA compliant than it would have been if you were just focused on branding being your priority and getting a website out of the gate with WordPress. Like this, you'll be a lot further ahead. You'll have less remediation issues you need to go through. So that's a lot.
And I think that takes us to our next question. Like everything that you said, I mean, that's probably going way above a lot of people's heads. But then it goes to our next thing is how does ADA compliance have an impact when it comes to SEO or organic visibility? What is the correlation there?
So traditional search engine optimization and traditional crawlers, i.e. bots, are evolving. The search engine, the results page, the SERPs is evolving to more of an agentic answer engine optimization, AI agents that are doing crawling over traditional bots. Like, why would Google utilize an old school process of having bot crawlers that have limited capacity to be able to make changes? And you'll see this when algorithm changes have take place. If you look at the frequency of algorithm changes over the last 7 months, we've had 4 major core algorithm updates. So they're capable of making core algorithm updates faster, not because somebody's sitting in a boardroom saying, hey, I want to really make it hard on everybody. So let's make it really freaking difficult and have huge changes happen 4 times in the last 7 months, compared to previously, we would only have 2 major algorithm updates that took place per year, lots of incremental small ones, but 2 major ones that you had to prepare for and so forth. So what you're seeing is as technology is evolving from scripts, automation, cron jobs, bots, to more of an agentic environment, as AI is becoming more and more powerful, their capabilities to be able to make these algorithmic changes are happening faster. So you're seeing more frequent, large updates. You're seeing the SERPs, the search engine results page, evolve. And you're going to notice this is going to happen even more and more. There are some instances where if you go to Google and you do a search, you've got to do 2 really, really long scrolls, because before you even see an LSA ad or Google Map listing or blue links that are traditional SEO, you're seeing answers come back. These autonomous agents are giving you the information you asked for, the exact answer. It's not giving you websites for you to then have to go crawl, navigate, clickety click around 100 buttons and then try and find the answer, right? You're just getting the answer. And Google CEO has stated on multiple occasions that the search engine results page, traditional SEO, as we know it, will likely evolve to more of an agentic agents managing tasks, agents presenting answers and information standpoint. So that's one piece of it, is the technology is improving and therefore the SERPs are evolving. Their ability to harass websites and evaluate websites is increasing because they can do it faster. When a major algorithm change takes place, it used to be that they would roll it out and it kind of felt like a tsunami. It was like a wave of changes and websites would get impacted, then another wave. And you had this 6-month window of time where you'd kind of see this slow wave until it just trickles out until the next major update. What's happening now is the algorithm change takes place more rapidly, and then boom, you see an enormous volume of websites that are de-indexed, deranked, or move around the SERPs. And that's just simply same thing. They've got agents that have the ability to crawl it. The impact for ADA compliance. So, and the more you understand this, the better it is, the easier it is to process everything. The same way that technology is evolving for Google to be able to mass evaluate websites and then re-index them with whatever appropriate valuation that they've added because of their algorithm change, with the intent, they're not trying to hurt anybody. The intent is to provide consumers with the most honest evaluation and the best possible answer based on the consumer's intent, whatever the consumer's intent is. On the flip side, it's not that ADA is new. It is not new. It's not that lawsuits related to ADA are new. It is that attorneys are now equipped with the same agentic capabilities as Google is, as we are, as a digital marketing agency, right? We're able to produce 1 million pages of content a day now, unique content, like not ChatGPT content. I'm not talking about that kind of AI. So, we now have autonomous agents that have the ability to evaluate all of the analytics, evaluate all the reviews, evaluate all the estimates, and be able to produce legitimate, really good content at scale. Well, attorneys now have the same functionality. So they now have the ability to evoke a series of autonomous agents that have the ability to crawl massive websites at the same time, ability to assess 3,000 different data points, consolidate all of the violations into a single file, apply an amount to each violation, create the entire lawsuit, and issue the lawsuit without the involvement of any human being or paralegal or anyone else. So the window of time that we have to react to change is shrinking. It used to be that they'd roll a requirement out and then you're kind of like, oh, if they catch me, they catch me. I'll get to it when I get to it. But now, yeah, they have the ability to catch you and they can catch you quick. So I think that business owners as a whole have become a little complacent in their decision making. They almost have to wait until the pain hits before they make the change. And the more we can modify our ability as a business owner to take a predictive approach, a proactive and predictive approach, and be able to see the future. I mean, I think that's one of our greatest values at CI Web Group is we have consistently been able to predict what will come, and we've been able to make very hard decisions in advance of requiring to. I don't need to get sued to know that I need to make these changes. So don't wait for the ass whooping in order to get there. I think that it's going to require business owners to shit or get off the pot. I probably should come up with a better phrase, but you need to be able to see where technology is going. You need to be able to understand what AI is. It is not ChatGPT. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about autonomous agents. You need to see how technology companies are adopting them, how businesses that could harm you are adopting them, how consumers who will hire you are adopting them. And you need to look at not what the total adoption value is today, but the rate of change in between last year and this year, between the year before and that year. And if that curve looks like something you've never seen before and it looks like a hockey stick, I don't need to see proof that it's coming. You can see this if you use compounding interest impacts. And it's hard because our brains don't process compounding interest by nature. We have to train ourselves to understand what compounding equals. What does compounding equal? If the rate of change went from 1% to 3% in a 12-month period of time since the day that AI launched, that's a lot. If it went from 3% to 9% in the next year, we have a spike. If it went from 9% to, Google just announced that 52% of the total interactions are zero click interactions. They're not even looking at the website. They got the information that they needed from the SERP. They didn't even visit the website. They were searching for something. They got an answer. They didn't even click through any website to get the exact answer that they want. And 54% of the total interactions are now zero click, meaning they're not going to the site. Then right now, put these dots together. If Google has already stated that the SERPs, the search engine results page, will likely turn into more of an AI search environment, i.e., no blue links. And you're starting to see that take place. And if, as of today, 2026, depending on when you're watching this, or May 2026, if
May
today,
20th.
May 20th, that, okay. Oh yeah, my birthday's in the 20th. Okay. So if we're at 52% of the people who are still going to Google and haven't transitioned to an AI search engine, 54% are getting the information they need and not clicking. And Google said that those blue links might go away. I don't want to wait until they're gone to make sure that I am building an engine that is capable and has the technology available to allow those consumers who are utilizing an AI search engine or utilizing Google's AI overviews to be able to book. I need to design a business that says that you don't have to visit my website to book with me. What my website should become is a data lake that is producing content to be able to be found in the AI overviews or on AI search. And the technology that I evoke better have the ability for the consumers to be able to schedule with me or book or gather information or buy, right, directly in the LLM without the visit to my website. Then I'm not going to wait until it becomes urgent. No different than I'm not going to wait until I get a lawsuit before I address the fact that ADA compliance or requirements are, it's already a law. They just extended the timeline. Like, get on Google, go look at ADA compliance guidelines 2026, not guidelines, ADA compliance laws from the Department of Justice 2026, Title III, which is small businesses. That's the one you're looking at. Look at the impact, start doing some research, look at the rate of increase of lawsuits. Like, what's the frequency that used to come out in this rate of time? Now compound that. Now it's at 40%, and then compound it again. And you can start looking at how is it going to scale up now that they are AI enabled with new technology. Does it mean that you can get into a court and go deal with that? No. Obviously, court systems are going to be jam packed and they're going to have to solve that too, and they will. Does it mean that it's going to disrupt your business and the average lawsuit is $52,000? A quick settle is going to cost you a fortune. I'd rather just be proactive and rip off the Band-Aid and get it done. And while you're doing that, like, go tackle all the other stuff. When's the last time you looked at your privacy policies? Privacy policies, PCI compliance. There are 15 other laws that are state laws and federal laws that have been updated. Go look at your terms and conditions. You probably are now using some kind of AI tools. There are laws related to disclosing the use of AI in anything that you do. My guess is your terms and conditions are not legal and updated. Your privacy policy is not legal and updated. Your website is not legal and updated. You're not designed for or prepared for AI agents, crawlability, and AI conversions. Like, the list of shit is long. So, like, just buckle down, create the biggest list you possibly can, and just do it before you have to learn the lesson. Do it before your rankings drop. Do it before your traffic drop. Do it before your business hurts. Do it before a lawsuit comes in. Just get those things done. I'm having to do the same thing for not only myself, but obviously we have to think about this for all of our clients as well. And it'll cause you some sleepless nights, but a lot less sleepless nights being proactive and prepared than taking the tail whipping. That's my thoughts.
Completely agree. And that goes, and I love that we're going from understanding what it is, what all is entailed to it. Now let's get tactical. What is the most common accessibility concerns, issues that we are seeing today on websites that are doing marketing that are for home services? Let's focus on our group. What are you seeing?
Issues with home service websites for ADA compliance. I mean, might as well. Let's see here. I can give you like the easy ones, but I am going to look. Okay, so I just did a quick search. Number one, I got an AI overview. I didn't get a bunch of blue links. Side note. So most common issues on home service websites stem from, number one is untagged images. Number two is, this is pulling it from actual lawsuits. So untagged images, inaccessible contact forms, Poor contrast colors because of branding. These digital barriers prevent individuals who rely on screen readers and keyboard navigation from getting quotes, viewing service areas, booking appointments, leaving contractors vulnerable to lawsuits, review the most frequent offenders. Oh, shit. That's okay. Let me skip this. So inaccessible online forms, contact forms, quote request forms, and embedded quote request forms from field management systems. So that's interesting. So it is saying that they are legally responsible. So let's say that you got, that's very interesting. I wasn't really even considering that. I love learning. Thank you for asking questions. And I'm glad that I didn't just pop off with the things I see every day, because I would not have considered that if you're utilizing a website form provided from your field management system, and the field management system's not compliant, they are not legally responsible for the form. You are.
I didn't even think of that either.
I didn't think about that. We're going to have a meeting on that later.
Yep, documenting.
Yeah. So that's it. I'm glad you asked that question. Yeah, so the business is ultimately responsible. Your web company is not responsible for this. They're not going to get sued. They'll get sued for their own website. So you can't say, well, that's what I pay you for. If you bought a website 3 years ago and you haven't updated, of course it's not compliant. And probably the one you had developed last month isn't compliant. If it's not part of the discussion and you're not asking these questions, my guess is the web company is not going to put energy into making sure that this is done. They might throw the disclaimers on there, but if we're not asking enough questions, it's a lot of hours. Like, this increased their cost. This increases your cost. No web company is an attorney. They might have one inside of there, but the privacy policy and terms and conditions that are on your website, those are legal documents. The accessibility document, those are legal documents you are ultimately responsible for. But the likelihood of most web companies are using some kind of template, right? We're guilty of this, that template, or they're just carrying it over from your last web company and not asking any questions. Like, we do have to ask these questions, and no one wants to have this conversation because the picture of my family and my dog in there next to the truck is more important than anything. When in reality, like, we should be talking about, when was the last time you had your terms and conditions updated and reviewed by an attorney? And if you want to take the whole Claude is my attorney, I'm not saying don't. It will come with a little disclaimer at the bottom of Claude. AI systems have all been updated. I believe most of them have been updated with a little disclaimer that says that I have prepared this legal document for you to present to your attorney to get sign off in the court of law. Or if you are going through a dispute, it's likely a good idea, and you will be in a better position if you don't say, well, Claude wrote it, that's my new attorney. If you said, I did it on Claude and then I had my attorney review it, that's going to hold up significantly better. We are working with I'm going to get back to your question. We are working with a law firm and hopefully, like, cross our fingers, by next week, we will have completed all the tests, the API integrations, and this law firm is willing to assist our clients in making sure that these legal notices and documents are up to date with their state, federal, and legal requirements, which is good. And we'd like to provide that as a service to make it a little bit easier. So they specialize in digital legal forms and documents. So we're trying to help solve this, but these are important. So inaccessibility on online forms, missing alt text, which visually impaired readers are relying on screen readers. So add clear and concise description to every single image. Instead of job_123.jpg, the text needs to read a newly installed modern asphalt driveway in Seattle, for example. The next one it states is branding. So the branding guidelines that are created for offline are not compliant with the contrast requirements that are used online. So low color contrast, backgrounds, gray backgrounds, text on white backgrounds, can be pink. They use the blues. So you have to verify text as well as color schemas meet the standards of web content accessibility guidelines. Contrast ratios are required 4.5 to 1 for normal text and 3 to 1 ratio for large text. Also, text size and fonts. So when we're getting really creative with these fonts, that's a problem. Missing video transcriptions and captions. So issues are embedded promotional videos, testimonials lack closed captions or text transcripts. So if you have a testimonial video or you created a video, you dropped it on YouTube, embedded that on your website, and it doesn't have captions, then you are, then we have a problem. So it's not even, that's something you have to do on YouTube, right? Or wherever you're hosting your videos at. So these are the big ones. These are the most one, and usually it's HTML, CSS, and embedded tools and systems from third-party providers. Those are just a few.
That's just the icing on the cake.
Those are the top 5 most common.
Now tell me, with all of this, where do you feel like the role and structure, is it design, is it content, is it development, has the biggest uphill battle when it comes to coming in compliant?
I think like the biggest uphill battle is, quite frankly, getting everybody to be on the same page. Like it's the client providing images that are straight off their phone with weird labels. It's the SEO team, like adding all of the alt text and making sure all images have alt text. It's the branding companies that don't have any clue what ADA compliance requirements are, that are producing brand portfolios. It's the clients that are demanding certain changes to their site that are, quite frankly, just not legal. It's the account managers not being attorneys that are communicating with the clients, trying to satisfy them and saying yes to make them happy. They're not an attorney. God bless us all. Like all of it, right? I just, all we can do is try and be more aware together. That's what, thank you for hosting this and hosting this podcast. Like we have to start learning. We have to start having more conversations. We have to level up. Like everyone's got to level up. We have to ask more questions. It takes a freaking village. And this isn't one of those things where you can be like, oh, I'm pissed because my web company didn't do X, Y, and Z. Well, you hired them to build a website and it wasn't part of the original requirements that, oh, I need it to be legal and my attorney's going to get involved and I need proper documents and I need it to be ADA accessible. And, there's a lot of small web companies that they don't have the experience. Sometimes they're not just going to know that. Most web people, they didn't go to school. If they went for design, they went for design. If they went for development, they went for development. If they went for content and SEO, they went for content and SEO. They didn't go take a legal class as well. Like we have to apply some logic to the fact that your account manager might not know that this is important. And that's okay. Don't get pissed. Like it is what it is. That's the business owner of the agency that has to, most of the time, learn the hard way. Like, unfortunately, a lot of the lessons as human beings, we learn 2 ways. Either consistency and repetition, we create a learning environment. We are consistently like trying to learn and level up and get out of our comfort zone and learn all the potential things that could be impacted by the work that we do. Or it's an ass whooping, a significant emotional event, which means that they have to have a tail whooping before they realize I need to change. This might be This might be you had to get a divorce before you stopped drinking. I'm just saying, like, human beings naturally have to learn a lot of human beings are not trained from,
Mhm.
birth, that you need to be curious and you need to level up things that make you uncomfortable and that are out of your wheelhouse, right? We have to take an ass whooping and learn the lesson and then hopefully change. And so I think we're at a time where things are changing so fast. Like, we just need to be kind to each other. We need to be really curious. We need to work together as a team. We need to try and solve problems. We need to have difficult conversations. We need to learn acronyms and things that we did never know before. And then we need to come together, figure it out, and try and be more predictive. Like, we need to try to see where the future is going and start having conversations before we have to, start creating change before it's necessary, instead of living in reaction mode and having to take the ass whooping to make the change. I think human nature is actually the biggest problem out of all of this, just behavior and the way we think. No,
No,
no individual person is required is like responsible. You all are responsible. Everybody come together. Everybody.
well,
That's
and
my
I think
thought.
this goes to what we do here at CI Web Group is we have to get into the weeds. We have to ask the hard questions and we have to make sure that we understand what is being presented to us before we just get off the call. Because if we don't understand it, how can we help our team to understand it or even our clients? And I think that's something that Jennifer's really instilling into our staff here to make sure, do you understand it? Can you explain it? And can you roll out that process?
That's a big deal. We spend a lot of time nodding and blinking. Mhm.
We're doing it all day.
All that. I do not need you to nod. I need you to ask some freaking questions. Don't just blow over and be like, someone else got it. This it's hard.
Mhm.
Yes, you're 100% on point, and I appreciate the fact that you dig in. Like, it's really easy to go, that's someone else's lane, and to not be accountable. But if you are freaking liable, you better be accountable,
And
right?
we're all liable.
And you are liable for these things. Yes. And for us, like, think about it tactically. What kind of budget do you have? Do you even understand what it takes to make an old website ADA compliant? If there is 1,000 violations on a website that was built on WordPress, and WordPress is a changing environment with code that is maintained and updated by 15 plugin developers, 2 theme developers, WordPress core, and Elementor. Those people you're not going to get at your board table. They don't come to the meeting with you. That's your account manager, Becky. And Becky has some dev guy. And that dev guy has a maintenance team. That maintenance team, there's an SEO, right? There's too many freaking moving parts. It's uncontrollable, right? As soon as WordPress updates, a core updates, a theme updates, and those code files you just spent thousands of dollars fixing, like, hell to the nah. Under no circumstances am I ever going to be in a framework that I didn't build, I can't control. It is controlled by third-party companies that I have never met. Just like, we're not in a time where I want to be dependent on third-party applications like that anymore. Somebody else's map is not going to control my destiny or my client's destiny under any circumstances. So, like, if you look at it from a web company, a marketing company standpoint, you have whatever your budget is with them for SEO. You have, which is a specific team. You have a different budget with them for hosting and maintenance, security, and updates. Whatever you bought however long ago is probably non-compliant right now. Where's the money going to come from to pay all of the resources that are necessary to go back and fix? It's not going to come out of your SEO budget. That's not the team doing the work, right? To go back and fix the 1,000, or if they only have 200 clients or whatever, however many customers they have, to go back and fix all of that. And then if they do fix all of that, what are the implications of all these third parties? Like, it's just it's crazy. So it's crazy. So in our world, we are we have made it our mission to get all of our clients moved into Hydra. We're putting all of our emphasis and effort into making sure that Hydra's operating system is ADA compliant, A2P compliant, PCI level 2 compliant. We'll go for level 1 when we need to. You need to be like working with medical companies to do that. Well, we'll get there when we get there. It's like 6-figure budget and 8 months of work. But we're making sure that those sites are unhackable. We're making sure that that framework is AI first. We're making sure it's crawlable by AI agents. We are working on it in flight. We are building as we are building. So we're bringing on a law firm, like I said, to help us with the legal terms and conditions, at least be able to provide our clients with a resource that's inexpensive. We're pooling all our clients together to be able to try and bring costs down so that they're not having to pay $500 an hour for an attorney, but we're trying to get those costs down for them. This is how we're approaching it. So because we not only have to make sure that everything we do now going forward is compliant, but retroactively, it doesn't make logical sense to go back and try and retrofit those. Jazz, you brought up the best example. You're like, if you bought an air conditioner or something, what did you said if you bought an air conditioner that used like WD-40, I don't know, R34,
if you bought up an air conditioner that used R22, I can't go in and purchase R22. It's gonna be $1,000 a pound. I'm not gonna sit there and try and fix that. Like that's what me and Justin talk about all the time. No, I'm gonna swap that baby out because it's gonna be more cost efficient versus paying $1,000 per pound. And do you know how many pounds of Freon those air conditioners take? You're looking at like a 20 grand bill sometimes. I might as well change that bad boy. And that's what I was telling, like with my team. They're like, well, does it make sense for us to just help them fix it? And I'm like, you realize the cost of us having to go through and fix a 2016 WordPress website versus them just upgrading.
And you're only solving one problem. We're not solving for AI agents. We're not solving for legal. We're not like there's 500. We're not solving for the fact that all their content was written when SEO was how many words are on the page? Where is your primary keyword in the heading 1? Do you have a secondary keyword and 3 variations? Are you using a variation every 100 words? Like even the logic of how SEO works, all your content needs rewritten. Go back to the algorithm updates that have been made, which are heavily focused on content, helpful content, unique content. I guarantee like old SEO, that SEO is dead sweatshirt, like means that the practices that companies were utilizing for SEO is effectively dead in a new era where consumers are querying different. They're not going to like, I listened to a podcast the other day and it was somebody going, they were trying to battle that marketing. They were trying to battle contractors that were saying, why can't I just generate my content in ChatGPT? And if you're going to write it, how come it's so expensive? And they literally on the podcast were like, well, it's not just about us generating the content in ChatGPT. We can get content first off. Why the Sam hell are you generating content as an agency in ChatGPT that's literally pulling it from other websites? No. But then they were explaining that. Then we have to edit it. And then we have to add backlinks. And then we need to do keyword research. And then we like keyword research. What? Like I can do keyword research in 3.5 seconds, in milliseconds. AI can do that in a matter of milliseconds. Like just, geez, it's the contractors are in a tough, small businesses, forget about contractors. Small businesses are in a tough environment because they're doing business with other small businesses that haven't got their shit together yet. Like that's tough. So this is a lot of things need addressed right now. I know this is an ADA compliance podcast, but there are 600 other things that all need to be tackled with the evolution of technology, AI, consumer search, how consumers are using the technology, legal requirements at the federal level, at the state level, like just try and get everything up to par and get into an environment that's more flexible. we all have to have the ability to pivot a lot faster now. And if your website is like a static entity that is you treat as a project, and then once it's done and whatnot, like that's not going to work in an environment that's changing. I need the ability to be able to we got to be in a decoupled environment. And this is one of the biggest things we did with Hydra is we separated the database, we decoupled that and put that onto its own environment. We decoupled the administrative environment, which is where you can make administrative changes. And we AI enabled the administrative layer, and we decoupled the design, the presentation layer, and we decoupled the brain, the agentic network and the data lake and the brain behind that into its own environment. So that is allowing us to be able to make changes faster, and being able to do it, make one change that everyone gets immediately versus I have to go work on this one website because it's a monolithic environment. This monolithic environment is where this website is its own container, and your budget and our time is we only work on this one container compared to a decoupled environment with a monolithic brain. One change inside this environment, everybody gets the upgrade. It's like driving I better not say that. I'm talking to a lot of trades contractor. It's like driving a gas vehicle. I almost said something different. Got to catch myself. Trying to be more consciously aware of the stuff I say on these things. It's like driving a gas vehicle where the gas vehicle is getting older over time. The engine is degrading. The materials and whatnot are degrading over time versus driving a Tesla and plugging it in and it updates and it gets smarter. Tomorrow, if they want to make your lights in the interior of your car blink when they used to be just a static light, then at the main control center, they make one change and boom, everybody gets flashing lights. Everybody gets Santa Claus on a reindeer sled in their car. Everybody gets Tron in their car. You already know I love all the gadgets inside there.
Yeah, I'm like, I just got that update with all the other that came out. Now I have Grok and it just talks to me.
Right? And Grok now, I can literally get in my car and I can say, hey, hey, Ara, I'm on. Did you name it? Do you call her Ara?
No, I haven't named it yet.
Okay, so mine's Ara. So I can get in my car and say, Ara, it's date night with my husband. We want to go to dinner. We want to do something fun. Map it out. Drive us there. Like, take us on a journey. Get us lost. And Ara's
ambience music,
right? Ambient music and make the fireplace glow and whatever, and set the heat to 72. And you literally get in the car, sit back, and me and my husband are having a great time. And the car is taking us on a date night. The ambiance, the lighting, the music, the map. Even if I say get it lost, it literally can control your maps. And now it can take you somewhere. And that's the benefit of having intelligent systems with main control capacity. So we're trying to set it up to where when these changes happen in the future, we need to be able to support our clients better. And we can't do that if we're in this monolithic single application. If I have to go put this car in the shop and get a repair guy to come work on this car, like that's not going to work. I need, smart person, change the system and make it happen on every website. And that's where we're trying to head to. So these are how we're trying to solve these problems. These are big problems. It requires big investments. But yeah, that's what I got.
It's a lot. Well, thank you so much for joining us and going through all of this with us. I know that's a lot to digest, you guys. Take it in pieces, parts, but you want to read this. You want to listen to it. You want to research it. Something that Jennifer tells me all the time, change your feed. That's exactly what I'm doing. Changing my feed so I'm getting updates. I'm staying ahead because ultimately I need to know these things so I can educate my team. Or my favorite thing is to bring something Jennifer doesn't know yet. But can't you hear about it? I love it. But smash that like button. Make sure you give us a follow here over on any platform that you're listening to, and drop a happy birthday in the chat because we will be celebrating Jennifer's birthday next week. Thank you guys so much.